Hi, everyone, and welcome back to English with Sam and Nora. I'm Sam.
And I'm Nora. Thanks for joining us today. In this episode, we're going to learn about something you use every single day. Greetings. Specifically, we'll explore the difference between formal and casual greetings in English.
That's right. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to greet your teacher, your boss, your friends, and even strangers in the perfect way for each situation.
Perfect. But first, Sam, how was your day today? What did you do?
Oh, I had a pretty busy morning. I went to the grocery store to buy some fresh vegetables for dinner.
Nice.
Then I called my mom to check how she's doing. She's feeling much better after her cold last week.
Oh, that's great news. I'm glad she's feeling better. As for me, I started my day with a nice walk in the park. Then I read a really interesting book about language learning for about an hour. After that, I prepared some notes for today's podcast episode.
That sounds like a productive day. And speaking of being productive, let's dive right into our topic. Nora, can you explain what we mean by formal and casual greetings?
Absolutely. So a greeting is simply how we say hello to someone when we first see them or meet them. Now, formal greetings are polite and professional. We use these in business situations, with teachers, or with people we don't know very well.
Right, exactly.
Casual greetings, on the other hand, are friendly and relaxed. We use these with friends, family, and people we know well. Let's start with formal greetings, Sam.
Great idea. The most common formal greetings are good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. These are perfect for business meetings, school, or when you meet someone for the first time.
Those are perfect.
Another formal greeting is how do you do? This is very polite and traditional, though it's not as common today. You might hear it in very formal situations or in British English.
That's a great point. Now let's talk about casual greetings. These include hi, hey, what's up, and how's it going? These are much more relaxed and friendly.
Yeah, exactly. You would say, hey, what's up to your friend, but you definitely wouldn't say that to your boss in a meeting.
Exactly. That would be very inappropriate. Let's practice with some role-playing scenarios. Sam, imagine you're meeting a new colleague at work for the first time. How would you introduce yourself and greet them?
Good morning. I'm Sam Johnson from the marketing department. It's nice to meet you. How are you today?
Perfect. That was very formal and professional. Notice how Sam used good morning and said it's nice to meet you. Now, Sam, imagine you're greeting your best friend who you haven't seen in a week.
Hey, what's up? How's it going? I missed you.
Perfect. Did you hear the difference, listeners? The tone was much more relaxed and friendly. Sam used hey and what's up, which are casual greetings.
Now, here's an important tip for our listeners. The key vocabulary words to remember are introduce, which means to tell someone your name for the first time.
Right?
Polite, which means respectful and well-mannered. Friendly, which means warm and kind. Conversation, which is when two people talk together. Meeting, which can be a formal gathering or simply when you see someone. And greeting, which is how you say hello.
Those are excellent words to know. Now let's do a listening activity. I want you to pause this podcast right now and practice. First, imagine you're greeting a teacher on your first day of school. Say it out loud.
Go ahead, pause the audio and practice greeting your teacher formally. We'll wait for you.
Welcome back. I hope you said something like, good morning, I'm pleased to meet you. Or, hello, my name is... Now, try greeting a close friend you haven't seen all summer. Pause again and practice.
Great job practicing. For your friend, you might have said, hey, how's it going? Or, hi, what's up? I miss you so much. Remember, with friends, you can be more emotional and excited.
Let's do one more role play, Sam. You're at a job interview. I'm the interviewer. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for this opportunity to meet with you today. I'm very excited to be here.
Excellent. That was perfectly formal and professional. Notice how Sam thanked the interviewer and showed enthusiasm. Those are great strategies for formal conversations.
Here's one final tip. When in doubt, choose the more formal greeting. It's better to be too polite than not polite enough. You can always become more casual as you get to know someone better.
That's such good advice. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for learning with us today about formal and casual greetings in English.
We hope this helps you feel more confident in your daily English conversations. Next week, we'll be talking about small talk, those little conversations you have while waiting in line or riding the elevator.
Until then, keep practicing your greetings and remember to choose the right style for each situation. Thanks for listening to English with Sam and Nora. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
See you next time. Goodbye.
Actually, before we wrap up, we got some great questions from our listeners this week. Let me share a few. Emma from Brazil asks, "What should I say when someone greets me with, 'How are you?' Do they really want to know how I'm feeling?"
Oh, that's such a perfect question, Emma. In most casual situations, when someone says, "How are you?" they're not expecting a detailed answer about your life. It's more like a polite greeting. You can simply respond with, "I'm fine, thanks. How are you?" Or, "I'm doing well, thank you. And you?"
Exactly. It's what we call a social convention. It's expected and polite, but not meant for deep conversation. Here's another question from Miguel in Spain. "I get confused about when to use sir or ma'am. Can you explain this?"
Great question, Miguel. Sir and ma'am are very formal and respectful terms. Use sir for men and ma'am for women. For example, "Good morning, sir," or "Thank you, ma'am." These are common in customer service, military settings, or when showing extra respect to older people or authority figures.
And don't worry if you don't use them much at first. They're quite formal. Now, let's talk about something really interesting: cultural differences in greetings. Sam, did you know that in some cultures, people shake hands very differently than in English-speaking countries?
Absolutely. In most English-speaking countries, a good handshake should be firm but not too strong, and you should make eye contact. It usually lasts about 2 to 3 seconds. Some cultures have very light handshakes, while others might bow instead of shaking hands at all.
That's right. And here's another important point: personal space. In English-speaking cultures, we usually stand about arm's length apart when greeting someone we don't know well. Hugging and kissing on the cheek are usually reserved for close friends and family.
Let's do a few more quick scenarios for our listeners to think about. Imagine you're at a coffee shop and you accidentally bump into someone. You might say, "Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Are you okay?" This shows politeness and concern.
Perfect example. Here's another one. You're at a party and someone introduces you to their friend. You could say, "Hi, I'm your name. It's nice to meet you. How do you know mutual friend's name?" This starts a natural conversation.
Here's a workplace scenario. You arrive at the office in the morning and see your colleagues. You might say, "Good morning, everyone," or if you're greeting individually, "Hi, Sarah, how was your weekend?" Remember, small talk after greetings is very common in English-speaking workplaces.
And don't forget about email greetings. For formal emails, start with "Dear Mr. Smith" or "Dear Miss Johnson." For less formal business emails, you can use "hello" or "hi" followed by their first name. For friends, "hey" works perfectly in emails too.
Let's take a moment to review everything we've covered today. We learned that formal greetings include good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and how do you do? These are perfect for business, school, and meeting new people.
And casual greetings include "hi," "hey," "what's up," and "how's it going?" We use these with friends, family, and people we know well. Remember, when in doubt, it's always better to be more formal rather than too casual.
Here's a quick pronunciation tip for our listeners. When you say, "How are you?" make sure to stress the word "are." It should sound like "How are you?" not "How are you?" This sounds much more natural to native English speakers.
That's excellent advice. Also, practice the rhythm of greetings. "Good morning" has the stress on more, and "nice to meet you" emphasizes meet. Getting the rhythm right makes you sound much more fluent and confident.
Before our next episode, here's your homework assignment. This week, I want you to practice greetings with real people. Try to use at least one formal greeting and one casual greeting every day. Pay attention to how native English speakers respond to you.
Great idea. You could practice formal greetings at stores, restaurants, or with teachers. For casual greetings, try them with classmates, neighbors, or people you see regularly. And don't forget to practice in front of a mirror to work on your confidence and body language.
Well, that's all for today's extended episode on formal and casual greetings. We covered a lot of ground today, from basic greetings to cultural differences, pronunciation tips, and practical scenarios.
Thanks so much for staying with us for this longer episode. Remember, confidence comes with practice, so don't be afraid to put yourself out there and try these greetings. Until next time, this is Sam and Nora saying goodbye and keep learning English.